Hello everyone and welcome to the movie show. I'm your host Tyler Calkins, and today we're going to be doing a trailer reaction for the Sony villain Spider-Man spin-off film, Morbius. I think this is an interesting film. I think just the whole thing is kind of interesting, everything that came up about it. You have a situation where you've got Sony trying to branch off their Spider-Man villain characters, trying to make maybe a Sinister Six. They were supposed to do that during the Amazing Spider-Man days, but then it kind of fell apart. Now they're trying to get that going again. They hired Jared Leto to be Morbius in the midst of him being, playing the Joker in Suicide Squad, but also being like critically reviled as the Joker in Suicide Squad. And at the time, Warner Brothers was kind of being cagey and dodgy about what was next for Jared Leto's Joker. That was before they had come out with Joker with Joaquin Phoenix, and before they'd kind of cast him in the moment. They said they were going to do this Joker side film, and it wasn't going to be part of the DCEU, and they were going to do a separate Joker film that was part of that. It was like super ridiculous and complicated at the time. I think Warner Brothers just kind of settled down and realized we've got our Joker, and thank you, Jared Leto, we're all set. And I think Jared Leto realized back then, I think you're all set, and I'm going to move along myself. I don't think anyone's heartbroken about that. I think Jared Leto's Joker was pretty poor by most people's standards, and I think Joaquin Phoenix obviously is a great step up and a completely different thing altogether, let's be fair, but I think Joaquin Phoenix is a huge step up as compared to whatever Jared Leto was giving us in his Joker performance. And I think this movie, Morbius and Jared Leto kind of taking that on, I think is much more interesting and better for him as far as a way forward than what he was doing as Joker. That being said, I also didn't like Jared Leto's performance in Blade Runner 2049. So I think he maybe is a little too avant-garde for some of this franchise fare. But that said, Morbius is quite a character for somebody like Jared Leto to play, and I think that this is where everything kind of comes together and makes sense as far as this specific property is concerned. That being said, though, I also have really grave concerns about Sony's ability to pull off this film altogether. I watched Venom. I know a lot of people enjoyed Venom. I know a lot of people who didn't enjoy Venom. I was one of them. It was pretty much the definition of a mediocre film. It seemed like the script was straight out of the 90s. It seemed like the whole thing was a joke. The CGI was terrible. The whole film itself just wasn't good or wasn't appealing and not enough to keep me on board. Yes, they have that Carnage tease at the end, but I gotta be honest, what a tease like that to me is akin to flashing the Joker card at the end of Batman Begins, and that's a trick from 15 years ago. Let's get it together. Let's do something fresh here. So that was my problem with Venom, and I don't know if Sony can stick the landing with this. I'm rooting for them. I hope that they can make this work. I think Spider-Man has one of the best rogues galleries, second to Batman. I mean, they've got the best villains in comics. So I see why Sony wants to make this work, and I think they should try, but do they have the capability to pull this off? I also read another story before we even get into this. I read a story today that this is supposed to be in the MCU now, which I find to be incredibly interesting, but also kind of confusing. They've been very separate everything now. Spider-Man comes in for the Marvel films, and then Sony's got their own Spider-Verse happening over here. So to read that headline that they're blending, and again, I haven't seen the trailer, so I don't know if that's the case, but if that is what is happening, I find it to be incredibly interesting, and maybe a function of the new Sony Spider-Man deal that was signed between Sony and Disney Marvel. So maybe that explains what's going on there. But regardless, we've got a trailer. It looks like it's got 2 million views already in 8 hours, so good for, it's getting some traction. People are interested, but how interested, and is this good or bad? We don't know. Let's take a look. I hate trailers before the trailers, and I already hear the music choice. I don't know if I'm in love.
Michael, I've known you since you were a child. You're a gift. You always have. If there's an answer to your disease, you'll find it. I should have died years ago. Why am I still here if not to fix this? I have a rare blood disease, and I'm running out of time. This could be my last chance.
He's trying to help himself survive. I love it.
Up to something. What is it?
That's not exactly legal.
I don't want to see you get hurt more than you already have.
This would be a cure.
what cost?
Better be careful, all them bats flying out creating an origin. It's very Batman. Yes, really.
What's happening?
I went from dying to feeling more alive than ever. Increased strength and speed. The ability to use echolocation. Has been overpowering.
That was a cool visual, the echolocation.
How far are we allowed to go to fix something that's broken? Until the remedy is worse than the disease.
Wow, that's the only piece they're gonna show of him? Is the thing that's been leaked online all weekend?
Morbius. Got tired of doing the whole good guy thing, huh?
What's up, Doc?
And that's how they're gonna... Okay, what the hell is going on? What is that? What is that? You're just gonna have Michael Keaton just waltz into the shot and it's a part of the MCU. Are you kidding me with that? And then the only thing that they show of Morbius is literally the thing that has been online all weekend long? That should have never leaked then. This is an embarrassment. I mean, I was really excited to see, like, oh, let me get him, like, full on. Let me get full on Morbius, you know? Nope. He looks great. He looks great in the things that I've seen him, you know, in the shots that we've got. But I think they needed to do a little more to give us that. I'm interested a little bit in the story. You know, he's trying to keep himself alive. He's got this blood disease. But then he's walking into a cave and a bunch of bats are flying out. What, they're going to carry him up from the bottom of the well, Batman style? Like, again, they got to be careful to differentiate themselves enough to make sure that I'm not feeling these kind of comparisons. And I'm sure it's not just me. I'm sure there's many people who are in the same boat. So they've got to do their job to make sure that we feel... You know, that we as an audience feel like this is not some retread that we've gone over. We've seen these types of things before. They've got to be careful. And the other thing that I'm also concerned about is that, you know, they were very clear to say from the studios that brought you Spider-Man, you know, Far From Home and Homecoming and then Venom as well, which from what I understood, Venom was not a Marvel kind of thing. That was its own separate thing done by Sony. So I find it interesting for them to say it's all under the one studio umbrella. I find that to be absolutely fascinating. But in addition to that, what I'm concerned about is that you just had a situation with Marvel where Scott Derrickson left Doctor Strange 2 because he wanted to go full horror and they weren't ready to do it. Well, here's Marvel, you know, essentially, you know, and I hope they're not as involved as this film wants to make it out to be. But if Marvel gets their hands on this thing and sanitizes the whole thing, we've got a problem with what was going to be a nice horror film Morbius flick. So I'm kind of concerned about where that's heading. I think this trailer, while interesting and exciting, is not enough to get me full on board, and I'm going to need a little bit more from this film to get there. I've got to be honest. But, you know, that's just me. What are your thoughts? Go ahead, comment down below. Do you like this trailer? Was it what you were looking for? Or are you wondering what is Sony doing and how is this matching up with the MCU? It's very confusing. Go ahead, comment down below. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell to the top. That way you don't miss any of my new content. As always, thank you for watching. We'll see you soon.